All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go racing from Bristol. AJ Gotzi and Zach Henson have the front row. David Gorman, Chris Stroop on the second. Mark Nelson and Jeff Hinkle on the third. Gerald Thanos Poole and Mark Dantuma on the fourth. Jared Heasley and Brandon Springer rounding out your top 10. Kevin Reed starting in 11th. Wild Bill Percy starting in 12th. Eric Stoy starts in 13th. Mike Smith in 14th. Kyle Holden back in 15th. Albie Hewen 16th. Canadian Sticks starting in 17th. Donald Durant starts 18th. All four of the playoff contenders starting in the top 10. AJ starts up front. Mark Nelson in 5th. Mark Dantuma in 8th. Jeff Hinkle in 6th. There will be a competition caution, lap number 50. And word has it that from lap 50 on, from that competition caution, they can go the distance on fuel. All the drivers have begun rolling. And Mark Nelson is dropping back. Looks like there may have been a penalty at play here. So Mark Nelson, the championship leader, will now start back in 16th. As always, Nicole, that's what Cheese said is in race control. Very, very happy to have her. Hey, good evening, DJ. On the final pace lap, the pace car will hit pit road, and we're about to go green flag racing from Bristol. 18 cars start the race. Pace car is in. AJ leads them out of turn 4. Green flag is in the air, and AJ sends it into one. Garmin and Henson side by side. That got a little close. Here comes Thanos, already up 3 spots. Stroop getting in the mix. Jared Heasley on the bottom, but that high line seems to be the place to be as Hinkle is making some moves up top early. Points leader Mark Nelson appears to have had a penalty to start the race, so he is having to come from 16th. And we will explain the cheese car here in a little bit. Wild Bill Percy back in the field in 13th, but here comes Mark Nelson in 14th on the move. Now looking under Wild Bill for 13th. Jared Heasley on the move as well in the 43. It looked like he was losing some ground there earlier. I can't tell you that car was a bit loose in practice, but he has obviously got that situation resolved. He is flying. Mark Dantuma, another one of the championship contenders, currently sitting in 9th. He was worried about tonight, said he tends to struggle here. Kevin Reed a little wide coming out of turn 2 a moment ago, but cuts it to the bottom and picks up a spot from Chris Stroop. Stroop still trying to fight back up top. If you have a favorite driver in the field, as always, drop into the comments. Let us know who you're cheering for. Gourmet all the way up to the wall through 1 and 2. Gerald Poole just set the fastest lap so far. They are getting faster every single lap. Lap time's now down to about 14.64. Caution is out for the first time on lap 10. Jared Heasley and Wild Bill appear to be involved. There's Jared in the 43. Oh, comes up across the nose of Stroop. Stroop nowhere to go. Wild Bill's involved. Brandon Springer is involved. A rough start to the night. Canadian Stig. Oh, he missed his pit stall. Canadian Stig appears to be the only one on pit road at the moment. We'll see if anybody else comes down. Kevin Reed up 4 spots into 7th. About to pick up another one. Chris Stroop coming in. Brandon Springer involved in that incident. Heavy right front damage on his way in. Jared Heasley on his way in. Canadian Stig on the way out. And the beautiful Angie is cheering on both Mark Dantuma and Mark Nelson. Mark Nelson, despite that penalty to start the race and dropping back to 16th, already up to 9th. Meanwhile, Mark Dantuma currently sitting in 7th. Mark did say during pre-race that he was really struggling here. I also got word during pre-race that AJ Godsey was said he was struggling. We all know what it means when AJ says he is struggling here. It would be a good night for AJ to pull off the win, given the car number and the reason he is running Brandon Springer's number tonight. Out of turn 4, AJ fires as soon as he gets into the zone. Green flag is in the air. Gourmets sitting in 2nd, Thanos in 3rd, and it looked like Zach may have had a little problem through 1 and 2 that time. Kevin Reed easily getting by, now up into 4th. Chaos behind, caution is back out, lap 15. Looked like Jeff Hinkle was caught up in that one. See what happened coming out of turn 4. Mark Nelson gets to Hinkle. Oh, Hinkle had a run, but Eric Stoy a bigger run up top. Hinkle just did not know Stoy was coming flying up the right side. Jared Heasley is back on pit road. Meanwhile, Mark Nelson has now fought his way up into 7th in the cheese car. There is a bit of a joke to go with the cheese car here tonight that Mark Nelson is driving. I personally don't like cheese. I mentioned that during one of our recent trucking convoys, and this is what happened. But Mark driving that cheese car, better cheddar him than me. Jeff Hinkle, one of the playoff drivers on pit road, did not look like he had any significant damage. Looks like no fast repair. He is just manually repairing the car. And when you're racing at Bristol, folks, it doesn't get any cheddar than this. Don't forget, while we're under caution, make sure you hit that like, follow, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that share button. Invite your friends and family to come out and watch. Also, let us know in the comments who you're cheering for. Lights go back out on the pace car. They get ready to go back to green. Jake Springer cheering on AJ and Brandon. Jake, as we mentioned pre-race, man, our thoughts and prayers are definitely with your family right now, buddy. Pace car is in. AJ in control once again. He fires. They are away once again, and it looked like Gourmets might have had a little slip on the restart, but he gets it going. Kevin Reed now up into third. Albie Hewins on the march. He is up 7 spots now into ninth, and Wild Bill up to 8th. Mike Smith, though, looking on the high side on Albie. AJ has been out front so far all night long. Jared Heasley is still on pit road. And Jeff Hinkle, one of those 4 playoff drivers, now sits back in 16th. He's got a long way to go. Garmin just set the fastest lap of the race, only to be beat seconds later by Gerald Thanos Poole, as it looks like these lap times are getting lower and lower as the race goes on. Holy cow, Thanos, hold on to her. Mark Nelson up to 7th place after that penalty to start. Albie Hewins still on the march, currently sitting in 7th. Mike Smith up 4 spots. Albie currently in 9th. Mike Smith up 4 spots into 10th. Kyle Holden, one of the championship contenders and the most wins this season, but got knocked out of the playoffs last week at Rockingham. Started at 15th. He is up to 11th. Mark Dantuma starting to make his way forward, currently up to 3rd. Mark was not real confident about this race, but I think he's He's showing he has got some speed here. Obviously, that Chevy power coming into play. Quite a battle going on from about 4th place on back with Kevin Reed, Zach Henson, Mark Nelson, Wild Bill, Gerald Poole, Albie Hewins, Kyle Holden not far behind in 10th, trying to reel that group in. AJ and Gourmets trying to break away, but Mark Nelson keeps reeling them in. However, Kevin Reed in 4th, about 1.2 seconds back and losing ground as Zach Henson looks underneath for 4th. Gerald's got a run on Wild Bill up to the high side. Cannot get an opening though. Mark Nelson came into the night with the points lead. He did have to start from the tail end of the field. He's about to get a run on Zach Henson. As Mark tries to fight his way back into the top 5. Mark has a run underneath Zach. Zach goes all the way to the wall, and Mark now starts to look underneath Kevin Reed. Whoa, a little bobble there. Kevin gets a good run. You can get that big run off the high line, but man, that bottom line tends to be the fastest way around. Nothing cheddar than this tonight, folks. Just a few laps away from our competition caution already. AJ Godsey has led every lap so far. Kyle Holden has now made his way into the top 10. Meanwhile, Mark Nelson now up into 4th. 3 of the 4 championship contenders now in the top 4. AJ Godsey, Mark Dantuma, and Mark Nelson. Jeff Hinkle, after getting caught in that incident, currently runs in 13th. This competition caution definitely going to help out Hinkle. Albie Hewins has got marched his way past Kevin Reed, now up into 7th. Kyle Holden in 9th has a run underneath Kevin. He's going to take 8th. And Stroop lurking right there as well as he takes 9th. Kevin Reed, the car seems to be going away here after just 45 laps. AJ starting to get into lap traffic. Donald Durant moves up to the high line, is going to let him by. Garmin almost got a piece of Durant's there. Oh! Holy cow, Durant's is in the wall. No caution. One more time around, we will get the competition caution. And competition caution is out. 50 laps in the books. AJ has led them all. Expect all the drivers to come to pit road Everybody will get 4 tires and fuel. AJ Gonsi leads them on to pit road. Good evening, Thomas. Sometimes I do, buddy. He begins to roll off pit road. Donald Durant will get his lap back. AJ Gonsi comes in out front. Gourmets comes out second. Let's see if we can get a quick word. Hey, Gourmets, it's Doug. You got me? Gourmets, it's Doug. You got me? Looks like Garmin may be having some mic issues out here. Mark Dantuma now to third. Let's see if we can get a word with him. Mark, I know in pre-race you said you were really worried about it, but the Chevy seems to be getting the job done for you tonight.
I think it's more the parrot polish that's getting me up here than the actual car.
Well, man, it has been a great run for you so far. You're already up 5 spots. You got AJ and Garmin ahead of you. AJ, the only points contender ahead of you, but now you got Mark Nelson right on your bumper.
Yeah, it's pretty tight up here in the front. Just got to try and see if I can save my right front a little bit better than I did on that first run and see what we can do to get up there and challenge AJ.
Well, man, good luck. A great run and a great season. Your best BRR season so far. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
Mark Dantuma, third place right now. Hey, thank you so much, Thomas, for becoming a subscriber. Jared, will we see the 43 back out on track before the race is over, buddy? I'm thinking we will not. Jared, not even in Discord. They stack back up for the restart. Just under 100 laps to go here at Bristol. And thanks a ton, Thomas. Really appreciate it, buddy. Pace car back in. AJ in control. He fires. Green flag back in the air. AJ, another amazing launch to the front. Mark Nelson has already slipped by Dantuma up to third. And trying to find a way around Garmin on the high side. Dantuma gets the big run out of 4. Gerald Poole still lurking back in 5th place. A great run for him so far. Zach Henson now to 6th. Chris Stroop now to 7th after pit stops. Jeff Hinkle has now worked his way back into the top 10. Hinkle on the march, but look who is still lurking in the top 10. While Bill Percy up on the high side battling with Kevin Reed. Kevin on the long run was losing a lot of ground. Expect for him to be a little bit more conservative here on this set of tires. AJ just set the fastest lap of the night so far, 14.58. Garmin right behind set his fastest at 14.59. 1/100 of a second difference. Caution is out, lap 62. And it looks like Stoy Boy, Eric Stoy, involved in this one. Oh, Stoy had to check up for Kevin Reed, and things get chaotic. See if we can see. It looked like something went horribly wrong with Kevin's car, trying to find where the problem started. Kevin Reed there on the bottom, back underneath Wild Bill. Down through 3 and 4. Out of turns 1 and 2, gets a big run, checks up to not get into Wild Bill. Oh, and gets way loose out of 4, hits that outside wall, and man, it just shreds the right front. Levi cheering on Kyle Holden once again. Kyle now up to 11th after starting tail into the field tonight and not qualifying. Despite getting kicked out, or being knocked out of the playoffs rather, after last week's race at Rockingham, Holden comes out here and is flying around this track. Hey, good evening, Russell Worth. How the heck are you, buddy? How's the arm doing? AJ Godsey out front, Garmin in second, Dan Tuma in third, Mark Nelson fourth, Gerald Thanos Poole currently in fifth, Zach Henson, Chris Stroop, Albie Hewins, Jeff Hinkle, and Wild Bill round out your top 10. Great to see Wild Bill having a good run so far. Just shy of halfway. Wild Bill's been in the top 10 all night as they stack back up. 3 of the 4 playoff drivers in the top 4. AJ Godsey, Mark Nelson, Mark Dantuma. After looking at Mark Nelson's car, Kevin Reed's incident left debris everywhere. Here we go. AJ fires, green flag back in the air. AJ quickly clears. Now Mark Nelson and Mark Dantuma battling for third. Dantuma looked to be a little bit loose off turn 4. Nelson on the high side has a good run. Nothing better than racing at Bristol. Yep, looking forward to seeing Russell on Sunday nights next season. BRR will start recruitment. Next Sunday is the season finale at Charlotte. After that, we will see the recruitment races go up and the exciting, awesome new BRR logo will come out. Wild Bill still holding on to 10th. Jeff Hinkle, the 4th championship contender, currently in 9th. The top 5 still the same. Zach Henson in 6th, Chris Stroop in 7th, Albie in 8th, Hinkle in 9th, Wild Bill in 10th. Kevin Reed now 1 lap down along with Canadian Stick. Eric Stoy appears to be out of the race. Do believe Jared Heasley also officially out. Nice work, Thomas. Yeah, Gourmet is going to wear AJ out tonight. 2 distinctly different lines and ways of attacking the turns here. Caution. Lap 76. And looks like Mike Smith was around. Oh, looks like Mike and Kevin got together. Kevin tried to straighten him out. Just couldn't get it saved. Mike does get it rolling again. And has a little problem. Oh! Gorman gets a piece of it. Dan Tuma's caught up. AJ Gonsey and Brandon Springer both on pit road. They, I'm betting, are planning on going the distance from here. Gorman is headed in now. Both marks stay out on track. Let's see if we can get a word with Mark Nelson. Hey, Mark, it's Doug. You got me?
I got you, Doug.
Hey, a little excitement there right in front of you, but it appears you're all Gouda.
Oh my gosh, Doug, I'm about ready to have a heart attack.
Well, feta you than me, buddy. A great run so far. You'll be in second, but you and Dan Tuma had quite a battle going.
Yeah, we've kind of worked out to try to keep each other in this race, so it'll be a good one at the end.
It definitely will be. This is going to get interesting, especially now with multiple tire strategies out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I was a little surprised that AJ pitted there, but maybe there's some plan in his head. I thought it was too early, but we'll see.
Well, man, you've got the points lead. You just got to keep that car alive and get ready for Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I feel pretty confident there, so I just got to stay within AJ in this race, really.
Well, man, good luck tonight. It has been an unbelievable race tonight.
Thanks, Doug. I'll keep it cheesy for you.
Do that, man. Good luck. All right, Mark Nelson out in second. Mark Dantuma, though, takes the lead for the first time tonight. That is a bold strategy for sure, Jared, but in all honesty, they're going to have about 70 laps to go. You know they can go the distance on fuel. If you're careful, you might be able to go the distance. Nobody's going to want to stop on under green. So who knows? The drivers had a total of 4 sets of tires at the start of this race. And we were pretty certain the drivers could go the distance from that competition caution at lap 50. With these cautions, they can definitely stretch that fuel now. Pace cars in. Dan Tuma fires from the high side. Green flag in the air. And you know what we haven't done yet tonight that I know you folks just love it to death, and I do too. Folks, it is time to crank it up. Next time Mark goes by, I'm going to shut up, crank up your volume, and enjoy the sounds of these 800 horsepower cars flying by. Thomas, you may have a point. I do not remember what horsepower package they have here, but I believe it's a 750, but I could definitely be wrong about that. But always a lot of fun to hit that, crank it up, and listen to the sounds of these big V8s going around the last great Coliseum. David Gorman, after his pit stop, has already made his way back up into fourth. Oh, he gets the wall a little bit. AJ's coming with him. Those fresh tires are definitely making a difference here. Looks like Gorman may have done just repairs on pit road. Man, and the car is really starting to show it. He gets a big push through 3 and 4. AJ lurking right behind on 4 fresh tires. Oh, I know, buddy. Mark D'Antuma, Mark Nelson still out front. Zach Henson now to third. Garmin in fourth. AJ Gonsi in fifth. Chris Stroop is in sixth. Kyle Holden now up into 7th place. Gerald Poole still holds on to 8th. Hinkle now back into 9th. Albie Hewins in 10th. Wild Bill still holding on to 11th, lurking just outside the top 10. Brandon Springer in 12th. And once again, our thoughts and prayers are with Brandon and Jacob Springer and the whole Springer family tonight. What a difficult time they are going through, but our best wishes for you and your family. And Jared Easley has joined us in the booth.
Hi, Doc.
What's up, J-Rod?
Oh, just figured I'd come watch the race as I was doing already. Hang out with you.
Awesome. So the strategy, you made the comment, that's a gutsy strategy for AJ there. Do you think he can make it work?
Well, it depends on if Dave took tires there. Of anybody that can do it, it's going to be AJ, but you got to think about who's in front of him coming out there. He had to pass some former champions and a lot, burn off his stuff a little bit. And he's not like he's flying up through the field. I mean, he's here, but we'll see what he can do with the marks up here. I don't know. We'll see.
It's definitely going to be an interesting situation as he's about to clear Henson. It does not look like Garmy took tires, though. He had a very quick 6-second pit stop, so I believe repairs and fuel, maybe.
You got to wonder, if we get another caution, which is always possible, always not possible here at Bristol, will he pit again? Or will these other guys react to what he's doing and pit and then force AJ to either use that last set or kind of get the same situation with, 48 to go now?
I did hear an interesting comment in pre-race, and you'll know this one well. Was told that AJ was struggling here.
It's always struggling. The interesting part, we look at the point situation is, if the marks can stay 2-3, you've really got to battle at Charlotte because, AJ only gains, he's down 2 points on Nelson and 1 point on D'Antuma, so he would take the lead by I think only one point in the points even if he wins, maybe 2 points. So we still have a very tight battle headed to Charlotte.
It could even be an interesting situation depending on how those three finish as they run right now. As long as some configuration of 1, 2, 3, you could go into Charlotte with a 3-way tie.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So, looking at this field and the way things are... Whoa, is Gerald Poole... Man, it is getting dicey back there from 4th on back to about 8th with Zach, David Garman, Gerald Poole, Chris Stroop, Kyle Holden, all right there. Things are getting exciting, but if you had to pick a winner right now, who would you think could pull this off?
Well, AJ's kind of run away from this once he got clean air, fresh tires. He's... Without a caution, I think he's gone. Nelson, we know, can save tires, so I think it looks like he saved enough to get past. He just got past Antuma. So, I mean, AJ, as long as there's no more cautions, is won. I think.
Very well could be, and Thanos has been on a tear tonight. He is up 3 spots into 4th place, but Kyle Holden, who did not qualify, up to 5th, up 10 spots. The guy was had an almost ideal season, but Rockingham ruined it.
Yeah, Gerald. Gerald was fast on Tuesday. Just kind of burned up his fronts a little bit in XCal, so we knew he was good at Bristol. He's run well here many times. He was good last night in the ARCA race. So I'm not surprised there. And Kyle never surprises me. He's just a different type of animal with iRacing. He runs hard and saves at the same time. He's always top 5. He's won the most races this season. So not a surprise to see him run well.
It really isn't. It has to have been heartbreaking for him. I have not had a chance to talk to him over the last week, but given the dominance he showed, especially the first half of the season, the dominance he had to have been a little bit heartbreaking to miss the final round.
I imagine it was. Sucks getting eliminated, having as good of a season as he did, but that's what makes the playoffs interesting. You have to show up week in and week out and really show out.
Mark
Hinkle's on the move now,
and Dan Tuma has slipped way back. He
had to run that right front off bleeding up here.
It was either that or he has tagged the wall trying to get a good look at the right front, and I think he might actually have a little bit of right front damage on that car. He does. He's got some front end damage, so he has to have gotten into the wall at some point, and it has sent him backwards. Dan Tuma now back all the way to 10th. Meanwhile, AJ continues to grow his lead, 4.7 seconds over second place Kyle Holden.
Yeah, Kyle and Stroop just got past Mark Nelson. This last thing Nelson needed to see right there. He needs to keep as many points on AJ as he can. And here comes Hinkle now to worsen the situation.
Yeah, Hinkle, we know, Hinkle being Hinkle, he is always going to come forward late in a run. You always just watch for him. Albie Hewins appears to have made the first green flag pit stop. Mike Smith is on pit road, but he has been there a while. But, yeah, Jeff Hinkle, long runs, he always moves to the front.
Yeah. Jeff's going to work on Mark here. Looks like he's going to get him. Oh, lap car.
Oh! Donald Durance gets in the way, prevents, it looks like Durance is headed to pit road, but it gave Mark an opportunity there to hold Hinkle off a little bit longer, but I think Hinkle is just going to wear him down. Plus, they're going to come into some traffic here. You've got Canadian Stig, who is not on the lead lap. You've got Chris Stroop just ahead. They settle into single file for the moment. And surprisingly, Kevin Reed back in 14th. Kevin's struggling tonight.
Kevin's normally pretty good here. He struggled with the next-gen car a little bit. He's talked about that. Just not knowing how to save with this car. It's a very different car, but we'll see. With one more week with this car, then we switch to the Gen 6 car again, so that'll be fun.
That is definitely going to be a lot of fun. Those cars definitely make for some interesting racing out there. I'm surprised you didn't go with the Gen 4 car for next season.
Car's just still too hard to handle. That's, we love power, but a little bit too much there to make good racing, I think. I think iRacing needs to work on that car a bit.
Well, it just shows you how often how awesome a guy like Jeff Gordon really was. Holy cow, Wild Bill and Garmy run right up on Canadian Stig, and Garmy has been kissing the wall a lot lately, but it's not slowing him down any. Well,
that dirt track stuff, he knows how to run a wall. Get a little bit, Garmin's around. That's a Garmin, that's Rome.
Yep, Canadian Stig is around. Caution, back out, lap 125.
What do you do here? I mean, A lot of these guys are on long tires. They're on old tires. They're, I think if I'm the field, I pit. Why not give it a shot?
That could be. Let's take a quick look at that replay. Coming out of the turn, and Kevin Reed right up on the wall. Canadian Stig just moves up. Didn't realize he was still right next to him, and Kevin Reed actually got hit a second time and sent back out to the wall, but Stiggy saves it, Kevin keeps going, and they'll both continue. Chris Stroop is staying out. You think that was accidental, or is he going to try and play the track position game here?
I think he's playing track position. I don't think it's going to work, to be honest with you.
Well, we have seen even on fresh tires, and even a guy like David Garman, no, he is going to come in. David Garman, even on fresh tires, we saw a struggle on one of the restarts, so AJ will reclaim the lead. Looks like everybody is taking 4 tires and fuel. Donald Durant has still not been to pit road since the caution and is now being scored in second place. Now he's coming in. Well, that would have been a really gutsy and probably a bit crazy move there. Gerald Thanos Poole comes off pit road in second place. Let's see if we can talk to Thanos real quick. Hey, Gerald, this is Doug. You got me?
10-4.
Hey, we know you're good here at Bristol, but man, you come off pit road in second place. You got AJ right next to you. Can you get past him? Can you get it done here tonight?
Well, I doubt I'm going to try too hard because he's driving for me on Tuesday, but and I'm not in the championship, so no big rush. But hey, it would be nice to end up in the top 10 finally here.
It does owe you a top 5 finish, that is for sure, man. It has been an awesome run. You've been in the top 5 most of the night, slipped back, but never outside of the top 10, and now here you are looking at a podium.
Yeah, the tires just kind of played out right with 20 to go, so I ain't got no freshies left, but I got my quick repair, so we'll just hammer it and see what happens.
Well, good luck, buddy.
10-4, thank you, man.
You always got to wonder, Jared, if he considered just snapping the field out of existence.
I mean, I would if I was Thanos, but, that's cheating, I guess.
Nah, is it, though? Because if you snap...
No, not really.
If you snap everybody, there's nobody there to say it is.
It's true.
True. You got to think through these things. Wild Bill, now in 4th. Mark Nelson in 5th. Brandon Springer up to 6th. Zach Henson in 7th. Dan Tuma in 8th. Stroop in 9th. Holden in 10th. And Jeff Hinkle, the final playoff contender, in 11th. They are really spread out here. This is going to make Charlotte interesting as Green is back in the air.
Gerald didn't go there.
Struggles on the restart as Kevin Reed looks like he is working his way off of pit road. Gerald quickly he almost got back by, a bobble off 4.
Bill battling for a podium in Bristol.
That would be, I don't think anybody would complain about seeing Bill Percy get a podium here tonight. He started in 12th, up 10 spots.
And you got Cheese behind him there in 3rd, coming up, trying to get points.
It definitely is. Gorman shoots to the bottom. Can't get it done yet, though. And Gerald can he is loose out of 2. Looked like he had a podium run going, but man, it has gone downhill quickly. Meanwhile, AJ is just checking out as Mark is loose. He caught Wild Bill. Caution is out. Mark saves it, but gets into Garmy, and wow, what a wild turn of events. Donald Durance is towed to pit road. Let's take a look at that very, very wild incident. Mark Nelson under Wild Bill, out of turn 2, gets loose, just barely. I think there might have even been a little net code. They both slide back up in the track. Garmin catches a piece of it, but everybody actually managed to save it there. Wild Bill is on pit road, and what the crap? Okay. Let's see if we can get a different angle on Bill's pit entry here. I have to think Bill was a little bit frustrated here, which is sad. I mean, he had a great run going here tonight and just hits the inside wall. Looks like he may have called it a night.
He dropped from session.
That is heartbreaking. I really thought Bill had a run here, and even with a little bit of damage, he still could have fought for that podium finish. He had a great drive tonight. Doesn't look like any of the top 5 come in. In fact, the first car I see on pit road was 11th place Albie Hewins.
Yeah, at this point, you're not taking track position. You're not going to lose that. You need to keep it.
It's definitely going to make a little, right at about a 10-lap shootout here at the end of the race. Things are going to get really dicey, and you know, you get these 10-lap shootouts under the lights on a short track. May not be the last caution. Jared, what do you think? Do we see a green light checker tonight?
It wouldn't surprise me. We'll see. I think Garmin came to play. Don't be surprised on a short run here without having to save anything. If Garmin makes this kind of interesting on the 2 guys up front.
And you've got 2 of the championship contenders, 1, 2, and let's see, Mark Dantuma back in 6th, Hinkle back in 9th.
And heck, Henson, when Henson ran a couple seasons ago with us more often before he had some problems, he's won what, 10, 11 races with us in BRR. So like he's not one to count out either. I wouldn't put him there. Stroop's had a great season. We appreciate Stroop coming out. I don't know why Mundell's not here. He was a great addition. So a lot of fun up here, a lot of speed up here. So we'll see if any of these guys can get AJ.
Yeah, and I really expect next season to see Mundell fighting for a title as well. That was, since his first half of the season, it was rough, but man, once Road America hit, he was just gone.
Yeah, his road course was impressive.
Yeah, once, as we go back to green, once Mundell got that road course win, it lit everything up for him, and Mark Nelson slides into 2nd, Henson now to 3rd. Garmin way up high, may have kissed the wall, and Dan Tuma comes by for 4th, but here, Garmy coming back. AJ out front, 8 laps to go, and man, these top 3 settling in for a moment, but Garmin is on a mission, as you said. Oh, Dan Tuma's had a problem back behind.
No caution. He ruined the front end of that car. There it is. Yeah, it looks like Stroop got in there too.
Down through 1 and 2, and Garmin shoots by on the high side. Dan Tuma, a little bit of a bobble. See. And then out of 3 and 4. Yeah. Oh! It looks like
he just got loose.
Mark got loose, and Stroop had nowhere to go, and debris is everywhere.
Oof. Parts of Mark's car goes flying up the track, as well as his point situation.
Yeah. That's going to put Dan Tuma around 10th and 11th. The same with Chris Stroop. Does help Jeff Hinkle, who moves up into 7th. Mark Nelson still right there with AJ, but has been unable to get around. And Canadian Stig getting one of his laps back here as well. Gotta wonder, will it come down? If it comes down as close as Mark has been able to run with AJ, will it come down to a situation where Mark has to use the bumper here?
I think Mark's not one to do that. I think there are some other guys, help me even, that would. Mark's not one of those guys. He's not one of the guys I think that would do something and cost AJ. I think he wants to do it, a different way,
Yeah, he definitely will. But, man, it's going to get wild, especially with Gourmet back there in 4th. Gerald has worked his way back to 5th after those issues. Holden in 6th.
And Jeff Hinkle has to look at his situation and say, I have to be aggressive here.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Jeff's maybe not always the most aggressive person, but he needs to stay in this fight and head to Charlotte with as little deficit as possible to give himself a shot at something.
Jeff was 3 points behind Mark, or 4 points rather, behind Mark Nelson coming into tonight. So this one will be interesting. It does look like we are going to get the green-white checkered. Thomas, I know it, buddy. Hey, good evening, Kevin Gerard. How are you, man? And it's going to be a bit of a wild restart here. A couple of guys know they have to make something happen. AJ's restarting on the high side. It has definitely paid off, and it's definitely easier to start on the high side at Bristol versus the bottom. You have a higher chance of spinning the tires or just getting the car off kilter. The lights are out on the pace car. They stack back up side by side. Garmin right on AJ's bumper. Holden right there as well. The bottom 3 a little bit spread out. I expect they'll tighten up before they get to 3. We want to see the points battle, but honestly, they would love to see the 61 of AJ tonight in victory lane, but wouldn't it be something if everything went crazy and that peanut butter car made it to victory lane?
Be a sticky celebration, I'll tell you that much.
It would be. AJ has the lead. He is coming around. White flag is in the air one more time around for AJ Gotts. He has led almost every lap tonight. Holden on the move on the bottom, shoots underneath Garmin. Mark Nelson in second place, but out of turn 4, AJ gets the win. Mark Nelson comes home in second. Kyle Holden, a last lap bold move to pull off third. Garmy comes home in 4th. Gerald in 5th. Henson 6th. Jeff Hinkle 7th. Stroop in 8th. Springer in 9th. Mark Dantuma finishing back in 12th. Man, that is going to hurt going into next week. And let's see if we can get a word with our top 3, starting with Kyle Holden. Hey, Kyle, it's Doug and Jared. You got me?
Doug, what's going on?
Hey, not your best race, but, you started from the back, managed to work your way forward, but that last lap, you really turned it on.
Yeah, we were just trying to save tires. I was hoping for a long green flag run, just to kind of run on the bottom while everyone ran on the top, and then we ended up getting a bunch of cautions, so I kind of changed up the strategy at the end, but figured we were in a good spot towards that last restart, so might as well just try to send it and see how far we can get.
Well, you got it done. It was a really good send. It came home clean and in third. Congratulations, buddy.
I appreciate it, Doug.
Mark Nelson comes home in second. Jared, I'll let you do this one.
Mark, you brought the fondue to the party there and finished in second, huh?
Okay, that joke was a bit cheesy there, Jared.
Oh, it always is. We love to see that car. I love that. It's one of my favorite cars to paint. You just didn't quite have enough for AJ there at the end, Mark?
No, unfortunately, I gave it all I had, but I was kind of hoping that he would have burned his tires off trying to pull away with 30 to go, but I just didn't have enough for him, unfortunately.
Well, you kept the point situation close. If my math is right, you'll be about 1 point behind him headed into Charlotte. And with issues that Mark and Jeff had, it looks like it's going to be a two-man battle for the championship.
Yeah, hopefully it's that simple. I feel good about my chances at Charlotte, but I know that AJ is really tough there as well. So I just wanted to keep myself in the running here, and my gosh, I must have dodged 5 close calls in this race, and I felt pretty bad about that towards the end there when I was trying to get AJ. I was trying to drive AJ speed, and I almost crashed on the straightaway, and Bill and Garmin kind of suffered for it, but that's just the way it goes, unfortunately.
It was a good run, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week in Charlotte.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Doug.
And finally, our winner, and I guarantee you seeing Brandon Springer helping celebrate. This one is a big one, AJ Godsey. And AJ, we saw Brandon helping you celebrate. I know the whole Springer family has to appreciate it tonight.
Yeah, just happy to get it done for them tonight, mainly. I'm more out. I don't even know what to say.
Man, you gave it one heck of a run. You led pretty much the entire race. I think the only time you weren't in the lead is when you were on pit road and guys were trying track position moves and whatnot. But man, a dominant performance as always. Obviously, those last couple of cautions you did not want to see after you had a 4.5 second lead.
Yeah, I definitely didn't want to see them cautions come out there. And when we pitted and took tires and a few guys stayed out and got back in traffic, I was a little worried, but stayed green long enough for me to make up those positions and get back out front. Once I was out front, I was pretty comfortable with it. Last few restarts were definitely scary with Garmin and Nelson back there. I knew they had some speed.
Man, congratulations. You got it done, and a huge shout out to the Springer family. Great job tonight, buddy.
Thanks, Doug.
Well, Jared, we leave Bristol and go to the final race next Sunday night at Charlotte. That's going to be interesting.
Charlotte's always a fun track. You know, it's the home of NASCAR, if you will. It's a place that we all know. Everybody's run probably 1,000 laps at Charlotte. Hell, we did it multiple years. It seems like we ran 1,000 laps at Charlotte in one night. So, it should be a fun race to see if Mark and AJ can determine the championship, and we'll move on to the next season from there.
Well, man, thank you for joining me. Thank you, everybody at home, for watching. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. Jones BS Racing back at 8:30 Eastern, and tomorrow we'll have some exciting streams going on throughout the day. Hope everybody had as much fun as we did. Have a great night, everybody.